as it is when you meet anybody, like sometimes you find like a genuine connection right away. And I really try to go deeper with people and have genuine friendships.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Connections That Matter, where we have conversations with Northern Colorado's best networkers and find out how they make connections that help them grow their business. Now, I don't know, Matt, if anybody has been to a wedding where there's a lot of people that are involved in a big event, but tell us a little bit about your business and what you do to collaborate.
I do have a business that does a lot of weddings, actually. That's about half of the events we do. We also serve everybody from small, like a speaker rental, up to corporate awards galas with theatrical lighting production, outdoor events that need wireless audio spread, a couple blocks in any direction. So we do that kind of stuff. We also do photo booths as well, and they're a great marketing tool. Really cool.
So how did you get into the industry? How did you become a DJ, MC, and be able to get the scope of work that you do?
Well, I started as a broadcaster many years ago, and I found out pretty quickly that I didn't really like hanging out in a, broadcast studio by myself. And so I started to do events. Most of them were like after hours parties and raves, and I got into doing more professional work as time moved on.
You don't have to stay up as late maybe, or do you still like...
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But, a lot of the stuff ends at like 11 or midnight these days, 10, 11, 12 a.m.
Yeah.
There's been a shift towards earlier events.
Sure.
Recently.
Okay. Well, and when people are planning an event, generally, what's their first approach? Are they reaching out to you first and then needing other services, or are you getting brought in by an event planner or a corporate venue of some kind? What's the process of how you generate business?
We really rely on our connections with event planners and venues. Usually people bring us in at some point after they've kind of secured their venue and their catering. And, we're usually top of the list. We get thought of early, but we get booked after they have some, more important elements of the event taken care of.
And I'm sure you would love them to book slightly sooner than what they do. Right? You get those like, hey, are you available this weekend? And you're like, maybe not. But what goes into planning a good DJ set or a good event set?
Well, to answer your question about when we would like people to book, events like weddings that really require the DJ's heart and soul, we like to have a few months of planning time.
Sure.
We find that a lot of our corporate events book a little bit closer to the event date. And what goes into it is, from day one, once they've activated us, we are including them in our logistics meetings with scheduling people, scheduling equipment, and getting to know the client and their preferences and finding out what's going to make their day like uniquely them and special.
So what kind of things do you do to keep the relationships with your venues or your event planners that are referring you consistently strong, and so that you continue to stay top of mind?
Really, just try to be a friend. Yeah, and see how, find out how we can help people. It's really about having a genuine connection with people, and the people that we work the best with, we've worked with for years. Of course, we're always meeting new people, and as it is when you meet anybody, like sometimes you find like a genuine connection right away. And I really try to go deeper with people and have genuine friendships and really get to know them and, spend time outside of work with them, do whatever we can to really have an authentic relationship.
Yeah. Is there anyone specific you want to mention that you've built that really genuine connection where maybe it goes beyond strategy or just doing an event, but somebody you generally enjoy doing business alongside with?
There's a few venues where we've gotten to know the people that are doing the sales or they're running the events at the venue. It is kind of a high turnover job.
Sure.
And so when we get to know those people and we know that they're sticking around at the venue for a long time, I just, have a visit, go out for a coffee or a beer, maybe go to a show together, whatever we can do.
Yeah, what are you seeing with events 2025? We went through COVID, people are coming out, but now I see a lot of people doing a lot of different things. Any trends that are happening right now that you're seeing?
I'm seeing trends of events starting and ending earlier. I'm seeing trends of people kind of scaling back a little bit and not doing quite as elaborate. However, there's always those big ones as well.
Sure.
Right. So, you can never tell what's going to be coming across the email, I guess, when people are asking for event services.
Well, I always love the role that you do to facilitate a great event, because as somebody who throws a lot of events, it could be that place, that meeting place, that time where somebody makes a connection. So what do you do to cultivate the right energy, build the right move, create the right environment for what the event is looking for?
It comes from a solid pre-event communication, vision, finding out what the client's vision is and what success looks like to them, and building off of that. We really focused on the flow of the event from start to finish. To me, it's like a theatrical production. You've got, your opening act, you've got your middle, and then you've got your closing act.
Well, when you talking about flow, unpack that a little bit more. Different parts that come in, different ways that things crescendos. How are you working with the other teams involved to make that happen?
We work with the other teams to make that happen by finding out from them what's going to help them be successful. So, for example, if you're at an event and you've got a photographer, let's just say, we need to know when sunset's going to be so that they can take their guests of honor out for golden hour photos.
Sure.
We need to know when the food's going to be served so that we can plan some activities around hot, fresh food so that the food's not sitting there dying while we're running some other activity that we should have started earlier or waited until later for. Finding out when people are going home, finding out when other vendors are cut, right? We don't want to wait to do cool things that are going to be great photo opportunities until after the photographer leaves. We want to make sure we make those things happen before the photographer leaves. Just little things like that. Being aware and taking a holistic approach and really understanding what's going on in the big picture and not just our role.
Yeah, really cool. Well, I met you at a networking event. I saw you out and about, and I know you're involved in our community. But how has networking been a big part of how you're growing your business?
Networking is a huge part of growing my business. I would say that networking with people in the event space was where I started my focus. I've done a lot of networking with other people who have my role as an entertainer or DJ or a photo booth company. And that's probably been some of the best networking we've done, because we're kind of now a go-to company for people that are traveling in from out of state for resources of equipment or production assistance. And just having people that are calling us to help them with their events, or people that we can call for their help with our events, is really important. As it relates to networking locally, I've really made it a focus on doing that more recently, maybe since about January. And at first I was like, how do I provide value to these people who have no, they don't really have like a connection to the event industry.
Sure.
And so how can I help these people be more successful? And how can I make authentic connections with them? And so having a focus on that and understanding what their needs are and how they want to be introduced, right, has been really important.
Well, I want to go into how you're able to network with people who also do what you do and turn that into a very productive relationship. So do you get any resistance when you first approach somebody? Because they're like, oh, it's Matt with Mountain Event Services. And so maybe they're intimidated that you're reaching out as, or is it collaborative in the whole industry?
It's pretty collaborative. I think that people might be a little bit more guarded with local business friendships, because it's kind of, we are kind of in competition. If you're anywhere between Cheyenne and Colorado Springs, we might be competing for the same customers.
Sure.
Right. And so you really just have to share until it hurts.
Okay. There you go. So are you the one generally reaching out to them? Are they reaching out to you? Or how do you make those first initial contacts?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think most of the people that I network with, I meet in a group setting at first, or a social setting, or we run at each other at an event and we see what each other's work is like, and then we have trust. And from there, we can go deeper, right? Because there's a lot of broad connections that are made, right? And I think it's really important to take those initial meetings. You can't just go to the networking meeting and you meet 10 people and
Sure.
then that's it. You got to go deeper with people, and you got to really build those genuine and authentic connections.
Yeah. So when you're out networking, I see you networking in a lot of places. You're in that group in Fort Collins. You're in the stuff in Windsor with me. But who are you looking to connect with, and what kind of relationships are you looking to build?
I have found connecting with all different kinds of people in all kinds of different businesses really to be fascinating for me. I love to learn what their story is and how they got into it. Most of us didn't get into business to provide some kind of personal service because we wanted to start a business. We got into it because we loved providing the service. And so, learning what that journey was from, I like to do this thing, to now I have a business where I offer this service to people, is always a great story. I love that stuff.
Sure. With the networking stuff that you're doing, what kind of connections are you looking to make, and what kind of relationships are you looking to build at those networking events?
I like to make connections with people that are active in the community, and the relationships I'm trying to build are, I really do authentically want to help and connect people to other people. And so whatever I can do to help somebody find their next connection, whether it's a business connection or it's just somebody that they can pass a referral along to, that's important to me. I like to have that clout of being the one that knows the secret thing, right?
Sure.
And so, for example, today I just went and met with somebody who has a business with a lot of space, and they're offering it as a space for people to meet. And it's kind of like being a realtor that has off-market houses in their back
those pocket listings, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're not in the normal marketplace where people are looking for venues, but I have some secret sauce that I can share with people.
Well, and I think a lot of people want to plan an event that is not the normal event. It's something unique to them, something that's memorable to them. And sometimes it's not just about what you know, it's who you know and what connections you have. So, Matt, how big's your team? I know you got a lot of different DJs for a lot of different occasions, but how big's your team? And is there anybody on the team that we want to shout out who's doing it at a high level?
I've got about 25 people that, DJs and MCs, roadies, and photo booth technicians. And I would really want to give a shout out to the people that are driving a lot of our 5-star reviews right now. Eric, Cassidy,
right on.
Ryan, the people that are out there making the events happen and, just really taking care of the customers and their guests.
Yeah. And how do you pair the right MC, right DJ with the right event? Or is it mostly logistics? Is it availability, or is it flow or energy? How do you make those connections?
I think the top priority is the personality match. We're not all the same.
Right.
We all have skill sets that we share, but I might not be the right guy for a certain event, but I've got somebody on my team that is. And so I like to think of how that event is going to look successful. I like to look at it through that lens and see who's going to be the best talent to match with the customer and their guests.
Yeah. And you talk about the 5-star reviews. And a lot of people are reaching out and they're looking at the Google reviews before they're hiring somebody, even if it comes in through a referral. If I recommend that you should use something, before they reach out, they Google them and see how they are doing. So what do you do to provide that 5-star experience and make sure that you're getting those 5-star reviews?
We have to stay visible, right? I mentioned earlier that people book us sometimes weeks or months in advance. And so we can't just take the booking and then disappear.
Sure.
Right. And responsiveness is really important. Just getting back to people or answering right away if we can, letting people know that we see them and we'll get back to them as soon. And those are just, some of the ways we really value follow through, solving problems, and of course infusing every event we do with joy.
Yeah, I love that, Matt. Well, thanks for coming on. I think people that are in your industry do networking in a really great level. I always see after an event, a vendor will post, hey, here's all the different vendors that were a part of this, and tag each other and network. I know Northern Colorado has a lot of different Facebook groups that are where people are networking. And it's a really great insight for coming on the podcast and sharing what you do. But if somebody wants to get on your vendor list, if somebody wants to book you for an event that they have planned coming up, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Call, text, or email.
All right. Yeah, you want to give out your
Absolutely.
info?
Yeah, the phone number is 970-372-4882. You can make a text message. You can send a phone call. We'll do everything we can to get back to you or answer right away. If you prefer email, events, EVENTS, at mountaineventservices.com. Event is singular, services is plural.
All right. Well, we'll put it all in the podcast description. So yeah, come network with us, meet Matt, and connect with him. But Matt, I hope to see you around the networking scene. And thanks for what you do for throwing great events in Northern Colorado.
Thanks for having me.
Hey all, thanks for watching. I love networking and building relationships with other Northern Colorado business leaders. So if you want to come meet some of these podcast guests, meet me, or meet some other amazing entrepreneurs in Northern Colorado, I would love to have you attend one of our next events. Go in the podcast description. There's a ways that you can see our upcoming schedule, and maybe you could be a future podcast guest as well. Thanks.